So Donald Trump has basically conceded to Joe Biden and has finally, seemingly at least, accepted defeat in the 2020 presidential election of the United States. This follows weeks of several different tweets made by the president, remarks made by the president, attempts to have the results recounted or overturned in several states, and an overall rhetoric that seems to insinuate that he believes that the election was unfair, potentially rigged by the Democrats in favor of Joe Biden and against him, which made it one of the most widely contested elections in American history. Throughout my lifetime, I can't remember an election being this contested, I guess, this publicly. I mean, I guess if you want to count like Bush and Gore when I was like pretty much an infant, right? Basically just, I was never able to remember, obviously, when that whole thing happened. And it all came down to Florida or whatever. But even the fact that this has continued on as long as it has made it pretty much a landmark election in United States history. Over the last few weeks, we've seen several steps be made to kind of cement the Joe Biden win for presidency. Federal funds were released to ensure a smooth transition to his administration, on top of the fact that after the Capitol storming and riots that ensued just a few days ago, Congress was able to reconvene and certify the election results, basically saying that they agree that Joe Biden won the election. Donald Trump has made a public statement in the form of a video that was uploaded to Twitter, which I'm going to go ahead and play now in its entirety so you can see what Trump said.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
This election cycle has been one of the craziest in American history. With all the different events that have happened, it's been absolutely insane, and after the events that have unfolded over the last few hours here in the United States as well, it's definitely an election cycle that's going to be marked in history books. This is going to be permanent American history. We're talking about stuff that has never really been seen before, and it's crazy that it's gotten to this point, honestly. And this is all kind of coming just days before the inauguration day, right? Joe Biden is set to become president of the United States on January 20th, 2021, when he's sworn into office, and Donald Trump will then be formally removed from office by that, presentation, if you want to consider it that. So even with everything kind of going on, right, even with all this news and everything breaking down, there is still a lot of crazy important situations that are going on. First and foremost, we still have 12 days until the next presidency is formal, okay? And there's a lot of widely contested debate on what's going to potentially happen in those few days. Now, one major situation that's been kind of unfolding is the calls for the 25th Amendment to be invoked against President Donald Trump and to have him formally impeached and removed from office before the inauguration date. Several Democratic lawmakers have called publicly for Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to begin the process of removing Donald Trump from office, along with other lawmakers even introducing articles of impeachment against the president who was already impeached once but not formally removed from office. Once again, there's less than 2 weeks until the new administration is in, but the worry apparently from these lawmakers and people who are supporting potential impeachment of President Donald Trump is that they're afraid that within those few days, given the situation that we just saw in the Capitol, there is the possibility that the president or supporters of the president or whatever could potentially act up and cause more situations, cause more problems. They are making the claim that Donald Trump is unfit for office at the moment and that his irrational actions, including stoking the flames of the supporters who marched, quote-unquote, into the Capitol building and then a riot ensued afterwards, are all actions that are taken by those of a man who is deemed unfit for the presidency. Now, a little bit of personal opinion here. I don't really think the odds of him being impeached and removed from office are very high. Political processes, especially in the United States, take absolutely forever to play out. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And if it does happen overnight, I think it's going to really just highlight how the government fails in other aspects. I mean, if they can get both sides of the aisle to agree on impeaching the president of the United States and removing him from office over this whole situation, but they can't get people to agree on giving Americans $2,000 so they don't starve to death and they can pay their bills, I think that really just highlights a pretty big fundamental flaw in the whole system to begin with. So while that whole thing is kind of raging on, there's also a lot of whispering going around about the potential that the president will be pardoning himself from any potential criminal charges he could face when he steps out of office. Now, there's been countless different theories on different charges that the president could face the moment that he's removed from office, and especially with the whole riot, I guess, that happened at the Capitol building, there's a lot of whispering going around that the president could potentially be legally liable for his role in the entire thing. A lot of people are saying that he helped incite the situation, that he helped fuel the flames of it. Dare I even say some people are outright claiming that the president directly encouraged and basically started this situation, along with plenty of other charges that have been discussed for years at this point against the president. Now, if this were to be done, if the president were to attempt to pardon himself from any potential charges that he could face, it would be an absolutely untested and unprecedented use of power in that office. As far as I can recall, no sitting president in United States history has ever even attempted to pardon themselves for any crimes that they may or may not have committed, which would make Donald Trump the first one to ever do it, and also at the same time, rumblings are going around now, though, that the president has basically been kind of polling his White House aides and the people inside of his cabinet, or should I say the people who were inside of his cabinet, as much of his cabinet actually resigned after the Capitol situation. But the rumblings have been that he has been polling people, which is a sign of basically him going to do something. People say that when Trump goes to his aides and asks them their opinions on things like this, usually that's an indicator that he's going to try and take action, so right now, it seems like word on the street is that Trump will be trying to pardon himself. But on top of that, pardoning also may extend to rappers like Lil Wayne, which is pretty crazy to think about the fact that President Trump might be pardoning Lil Wayne of all people, but yeah. So I wanted to give you guys a short little update video. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Trump, and signing out.